So hey guys, and today I'm home alone. I'm actually home alone today, so that's a really good thing. Anyway, what you're seeing on the screen here before you is a PDF version of one of my friend's poems. I didn't want to do it in the actual Google Doc because, frankly, I didn't want to accidentally give away some information, like his email or something, or by accident or whatever. Um, Basically, I talked to him about showcasing some of his work, and I'm not going to mention his name or anything like that, so don't even fucking ask. But I guess I can just say doormat, because that's what he goes by in Discord. Um, but yeah, he gave me permission to. He said to wait for another poem he's writing that was more narrative based, but I can't fucking wait that long. I have to. I haven't even read this poem. I've been waiting to do this video to read it. So, you know, um, what's going to be happening here is I'm going to be reading it to you and then stopping to make comments because me and him are very big into analyzing literature when it comes to prose and stuff, alliteration, all this other crap, which he's told me there's a lot of alliteration in this poem. And from what I'm seeing, there is definitely a lot of that. Um, it seems to me that stuff like this, I don't know. I'll ask him later after I record the video if he wants me to include some way for you to read some more of his work. I don't fucking know, but let's just get into this, I guess. Jadjin, I guess is pronouncing it for the pronouncing it the name the way you say the title. What I can't fucking speak. That's not a good sign. Introduction. Time to tone the tome. Right off the bat, alliteration. Fuck yeah. Hell bent on nature's squadron of eagles, burying their talons at the heart of the elm's axe, guarding the sacred fruit hidden in the alabaster temple, trained to report the ruckus of first dawn, warmth emanating from eons of elemental birth. Jadjin aimed to avail the heart so struck by the fury of lightning, so struck by the vibrations of thunder, askance air and demanding the source of the fair. Okay. That's a good. I like that sentence. I don't know why. Attributing all altruistic and atrophied aphorisms. That just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? To the devils and the sirens and the angels and the gods, to put my soul at the stake of the heavenly host, actualizing art and aptitude for the elms of psalm giving. Hug the celebration, find me a trophy that transcends the beauty of the animal, furthermore known as the triumphant and gorgeous elephant, a statuette of glorious fortitude, bent on brandishing bells of bullberries. I swear, dude, why is he so good at poems? Be the breast of becoming, a chance stake lifted from the heart of the shackled menace, a standing ovation underneath the bright eyes of the stars, a dance fit for the finest fir trees in all the ocean, warm to the touch in flighty underbrush, a stroke of paint to make the challenger happy, a sacrilegious saint. Why is he so good at this shit? My god. Seldom cantankerous cornucopias crafted by the crust of the cornerstone. Jesus. It rolls off the fucking tongue, doesn't it? God, I see that you're really delving into Joycean stuff here, like the alliteration that Joyce uses a fucking shit ton. I fucking love it. I love Joyce, and I love your work, dude. Fucking hell. Courage clamors and crackles in the cruel. Deception adamant at alienating the astute. Champions of the recording arts, heave your highs at the sound of the bass and cymbal. Warm the heart of your loved ones until they burst at the seams. Splitting and cutting shrapnel, intoxicating the sincere sacrifice that Jadjin made for everlasting emptiness. Oof. Oof. Friar, ward the beastly bruise to the tip of my touch, three prongs of the trident thickening like a throng. Duly determine your duty. Dusk of the dark defies all danger of disintegration. happily harboring the honey, wrapping gently around the hearts of the brave and bereft. Rest in my soul, my friend. Take a walk down memory lane. Ease yourself into the prime of your being, the primal percussion printed in the pop of the puddle. My god, this just fucking. Like, it's one thing to write beautiful poetry, it's another to write poetry that just feels so good to read aloud, dude. That's an entirely different thing. Withhold, waft our energy into the ears of the eavesdroppers. Each element escaping the area of eradication, enter at your own risk. Fornication is the fright of the ferocious. Oh, that rolls off the tongue. I fucking love it. Done with this ugly duckling. Warm the wigwam, Jadjin. Gates grinding against grassy greens, opine structures and splitting seams. The great are the ones long gone. The final destination determined an instant. Trapdoor among licorice ligaments. Bark baritones at the bay. Beachside, truth is the terror of time. To get to the table, type the tip of the iceberg. Toys are not tools. A grandiose message, a chapter book title, my own utter espionage, my vehement trouble. To have and to hold the ancient white lie, a spirit abounding, a merry and musical mistake. Sorry, my nose is kind of clogged. My itch won't stop scratching. It's not even a ghost. A maddened wad, a syrupy ghost. Heckle until you have hell in handbasket. Illness is icky, sickly estrangement, the chosen among many, the few who survive. Because all who transcend are the multitudinal hive. Oh my god, I fucking love this shit. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm not good at analyzing on the fly, dude. I'm really not. It takes a bit. I don't even know if you meant anything by this, which I guess you did, but like you probably did. You probably did. Anyway, sorry, I'm talking to my friend, not you guys. But yeah, the way he's writing this is so good. The alliteration, just the way it rolls off the tongue so fluently, that's fucking hard to do. Writing a poem that just flows out of your mouth when you speak it aloud, that's the bet. That's like, that takes talent. That takes really good talent. And he has it in spades, apparently. Wash off my sins, joyous judgment in the juvenile. Jam the humming strums and chords. Lords ordering more hors d'oeuvres to devour. Destitute and derange. Jin tried. Kill. Copious calluses all created and coldened. Stretching the fetus of the phony centaur. The muscles of birchy batches who built the blue to bear. Blurs of creation in the heart's stallion stare. Love is a lamentation of lust. Taste the tang of the tonicky tongue. Oh my god. It's not it's not meaningful that sentence, but it's so fun to say. Taste the tang of the tonicky tongue. Come on. Hope towers over the black grunge. Furnish my celibacy. I only want fun. Without you beside me, I travel the sun. Weakness will wreck the iterations of a speck. A quail's quacking is quite the collection that changes the utterance of rhyme. Attack the ferocity of intelligence dry, godlike in spirit, the anonymous lie. Gladdened by sadness, I loved who you were before the headache, the pressure to pillage and rescue and maim. Addressing, vanish me quicker when the ceiling drops down. Sterile fractions of fire. My pearly contrition, bury me down with my crown. Love is the lamentation of lust, actuality, fruition, fuss. Moments like memories are meant for the mean. Excuse me. Average are they at the side of the seam. The haven of grains, the sapling of tang. Oceans that undulate, the sound of the sea. Oh, what could I possibly be? A travesty, a failure, a fright, a spawn of the devil inside of the fight. Rotations occurred at the earthly escape. Jin signals to the ruin of remnants. A shattered esophagus. Okay. Okay, that's a weird last line. Okay, overall, the entire introduction was so fun to read, so well written. The fucking alliteration everywhere. I love it. I fucking love it, dude. I'm directing my friend here, guys. Dude, you need to fucking write more shit like this. More shit like this, dude. I mean, I get it. Maybe you want to write narrative stories and stuff, but like, I don't know. Your narrative stuff is like to someone who reads literature a lot and reads really dense writing. It makes sense that you can figure it out if you're like me or him. But for people who aren't into dense literature, like it's not that easy to figure out. Which I get. You shouldn't cater to those that you don't want to read your fiction. But at the same time, you should probably tone it down and try and make it more understandable. I mean, keep the fucking beautiful language by all means. I fucking love that shit. You get what I'm saying. Make it more accessible. But overall, the fucking beginning, the first 4 pages were amazing. I fucking loved it. I loved it. Okay, scene one, war. Oh boy, that's interesting. Sharpen your swords and forget all your fears. Take hold of my hand and taper your tears. Tears, good grief. We fight in the battle of country and state, so speak up now, forever hold your peace. Feet are a marching and shields are in raid. We see the enemy just over the hills. Cleats churning with spikes, a search for the fleece. Jadjin carves, Jadjin cuts, Jadjin wields, Jadjin hunts. Foreigners compound, skewered on hilts. Tradition is sponged into obliterate spills. No, that's how you say that. Obliterative spills. Consciousness wreaks havoc and drives for a thrill. A spike through the lung, a spear through the lungs, a spike through the heart, a sword through the neck. A terrible curse founded on nothing but villainy, gushing hot bile of something repugnant, hilarious and hollow, a permanent pendant. Cannibals cutting to the core like craters, chapped and raw, blistered and bludgeoned, crusaded and curtailed. The pent-up anger and rage and livid wrath grows it with time. Spears in the sediment, stick and poke the oceanic turbulence, atmospheric depths, sacrificed under the name of Jesus, only to be reincarnated as the Savior himself, to teach, to suffer, to love, to die, to resurrect, to rise into heaven. Hell is a required punishment for the devil's angels to once embody good, to now embody him. Channeled the fire and channeled the fluid, spear through the heart of the beloved brothers. All in a tundra of disgust and death, killing hordes in seconds. Gravestones rising out of the ash, virile headstones shredding nerves, fasten the sadness into a sentimental bloom. Sentimental bloom, good grief. Okay, I fucking love this shit. It's so good, man. It's so good. So fucking good. Oh my god. The mud and the milk mixed deep into red, noting the depths of the bodies dragged. Jajin, woe of my wife, I made you proud today. I slit the throat of Caucasus, the electric defender, plastered his plethora of organs, chewed on the stench of the intestines, rocked his teeth in iron stone, aimed invigorating. Caucasus? I don't know. You'll have to tell me that yourself, dude. Love to lavish in the lives of the slain, prattling on under the guise of the sane, wrists rope knotted behind a wooden log, sticking straight up on the golden pyre, engulfed in the smoke and the ash, blackened scent of the flesh, hitching my chirping lust, for the taste of such an event and its venerating power. Okay, that's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked. So, not only was it fucked, it was really well written. And for those of you who didn't really understand that, I'm guessing what he's trying to convey there is like a sort of, like, obviously a war, as it said, but they kidnapped the people, like POIs, and they, no, that's not right. POWs, prisoners of war. They took them and, like, burned them alive at a stake. Fucking hell. I don't know if there's a narrative here or not. I mean, he said that what he's working on now is more narrative driven, but like, I'm trying to see a narrative or at least some meaning in this because that's what I do. Anyway, scene two, dream. Desertion is punishable by the death of the dark, spitting out the saliva of the spleen at the spark. Sweating and lucid and eyes peeled back, a placard of vibrating bronze, a trophy just out of reach. Closet, close, a figure. Frantic fermenting of fright, falling off at the silky puff. The inflation of the lungs indeterminate. Saw a shadow on the wall of the barrack bunk. Fallen and descended. Beggarly burly with a broken back, let me crack it. I'll be gentle with my dagger, sword, and knife. Simply soaring from the sound of strife, choking on liquids of blood and adrenaline adjoining. The coin of contracting muscles, wrapping around tight, squeezing to a pop and slicing against the grain. The fiery and flaking flesh, clenching and ripping and pressing, pushing and shoving. Reckless wandering will only soil the soil with your soul and its contents, the earthly toil of war, squandered and pondered and vicious. I feel a distant comfort, a homely resting place, pliant and plucked, out of my desirous daydream. Happiness is the paint on my imagination's canvas. Chalk draws shapes on the board of the conscious or unconscious. The sublimity of sleep, the opposite of the waking state, the redundancy of the appearance, that is absent in the dreamy humdrums, devoid of disease, solace, and grief. Okay, wow. That was really short, but fucking hell, that was good. Really, really good. That's all I can say. I'm not good at processing analysis and like stuff on the fly. I'm really not. Scene three, Hunt. Wooded falling leaves a hunger for the devil's advocate, trailing to the trail of the pathway's accolades. My God, I fucking love it. It just rolls off the tongue. Jungle sounds and forest chirps, animals among the dirt, grass and fiery forms foot, on my face with senile soot. I am really burpy. To ward off the predators of the infinite wood, one must disguise themselves and hunt down the groove. A single spear, a single axe, caskets climbing, dubious wax. Boars or bears, my frightened foes, who are my friends, not earthly woes. A crass white heat, I smell the smoke. God isn't here, he told me so. Running now, predicate, predicted prey, my javelin with might and spray. Jadjin hefts and heaves and daggers down, a simile, a forgotten frown, a running tusk so frightened here. We shouldn't kill, but food is dear, a starving task of litany. Gutted remains and incised entrails. Scoop out the organs, cut off the tails. Slurp up the saliva, demand a diligent rule. I am one with nature, you're a fool. The pyre billows a blackened hue, remembrance past of a wartime crew. Desertion demanded a duly death, bereft from life an early fest. The yells and screams were only there because of choices not so fair. I like to think that he deserved church bells purge, a breath, a surge, chasing shadows out the door, grab the knife and throw it, balloons of bellies blown, out of patient decay, desirable demonstration, if only we would lay. If a tree falls in the forest and the sound goes unheard, does materiality bend time? If a tree falls in the forest and the sound goes unheard, does the soil still score its growth? The entire forest would have to cease to exist for the sound not to become. But living are all these amiss. A thrilling thrill, a paling kiss. I didn't stop for a fucking second there, I think. That was fucking amazing. Holy shit. Scene 3 Hunt, that's my fucking favorite one so far. Holy shit. Fucking hell, dude. This one is amazing. Wooded falling leaves a hungry for the devil's advocate, trailing through the trail of the pathway's accolades, Jungle sounds and forest chirps, animals among the dirt. Grassy and fiery forms foot, down my face with senile soot, to ward off the predators of the infinite wood, one must disguise themselves and hunt down the group. I fucking love this one. This is so good. My god, scene 3. Okay, I shouldn't stick around there because I'll be there for fucking ever if I do. Ooh, I love that one. Scene 3. Chef's kiss. Summon. I don't know how to say French words. Good grief. Scene 4. Voyage. Cylindricals unleashed like battered breastbone, punching and kicking to the beat of the gong, beating down the competitors, the ghostly grunge, the mess of frost on the juniper petals. With one swipe of the boot all painted in green, to one more dream I can't inhabit. The clangor of seaside and the bell ring of dock. Captain speaks fire and thunders across the deck and the passion of the albatross. Mastheads and pike bars of steel and chagrin, a pit at the stomach of foreign bastion. Vain to blame the sickness on, pirates going after gold. The buried fury of the wake, plated with a plate of precious glint, swamping and swallowing. Fire banishes water, but water eliminates. Fire banishes water, but water eliminates fire. Crying beaches and their horseflesh sand, gargantuan decomposing illustrations, arise out of the subversive depths. Magnitude incarnate, crashing on the bowstring. Bowsprit, crashing the bowsprit, hooves hopping at the tee. I trade and stare at the tantalizing wash, cornering me into oblivion. The spectacle began, at first fruitless in its reign, and then bounding in heart and soul, trapezing over clouds and undulating under stars, ripping the representation of the rarity that exists in the docile demonstration of the roaring tidal. Okay, I fucking love this too. It's so fucking good. But like part 3, scene 3, is still yet to be surpassed. That was really well written. I fucking love it though. God. Scene 5, Dream. Again? Ever climbed the mountain of your wildest dreams? Scaled the highest heights? Soared the winding clouds? Peaked at the touch of an atmospheric kiss? Ever dive below? Explore the cerulean and navy, the pink and seafoam coral, only to rise in the sandy shores, only to rise to the sandy shores and witness the birth of the baby sea turtle. Ever hoarded soldiers, demons, kings, dominions, cry a warpath awry. With all these adventures and many more, one may have a collection of travels in store, to be experienced and then promptly forgotten at the waking of the dream begotten. The mundane, the boring, the gruesome, the grotesque. We must survive in order to build pleasure from the rest. The regaining of energy, the surging of power. It is all it is all it all is a reason for the nonchalant flower of the sleepy time skewer, piercing the heart of existence and striving once more to reign and to pour, whether incarnate in the mind of the dead, while soaked in the sun, while drenched in the light of the moon. We lay waste to the whim of the dreamy weave, the spiraling descent, the dark and timeless wasteland that rejuvenates our pores, enlivens our souls, transcends our art, and fosters our core. Oh my god, you're so good at poetry. How are you so good at poetry? Oh my god. What the fuck? Why are there literally 2 blank pages? Conclusion. The feral song hungers for a crackling leaf, singed to the flake, crunched under the heavy soul, sustained simply, terrify the tonal timber, groan at the sound of the clamor, my haven decimated to smithereens, enshrouded with a bulbing burst, cloudy with the chance of a cancerous and cantankerous crash, verdant roast, a spearmint toast, tangibility sparked all, enlightened in a fuse, vaulting and raining showers of grief, the entrails of a mighty king. So that's it. 12 pages of pure poetry masterwork. Good grief. I still fucking love Scene 3 the best, although it's all of it's amazing. Good God. Well, fuck, I'm just gonna read Scene 3 again, and then we're gonna close out the video because I need to. Wooded falling leaves a hungry for the devil's advocate, trailing through the trail of the pathway's accolades, jungle sounds and forest chirps, animals among the dirt, grass and fiery forms foot, don my face with senile soot, to ward off the predators of the infinite wood. One must disguise themselves and hunt down the groove. A single spear, a single axe, caskets climbing, dubious wax. Boars or bears, my frightened foes, who are my friends, not earthly woes. Across white heat I smell the smoke. God isn't here, he told me so. Running now, predicted prey, my javelin with might and spray. Jadjin hefts and heaves and daggers down, a simile, a forgotten frown, a running tusk so frightened here. We shouldn't kill, but food is dear, a starving task of litany. Gutted remains and incised entrails, scoop out the organs, cut off the tails. Slurp up the saliva, demand a diligent drool. I am one with nature, you are a fool. The pyre billows a blackened hue, remembrance past of a wartime crew. Desertion demanded a duly death, bereft from life, an early fest. The yells and screams were only there because of choices not so fair. I like to think that he deserved church bells purge, a breath, a surge. Chasing shadows out the door, grab the knife and throw it. Balloons of bellies blown, out of patient decay. Desirable demonstration, if only we would lay. If a tree falls in the forest and the sound goes unheard, does materiality bend time? If a tree falls in the forest and the sound goes unheard, does the soil still score its growth? The entire forest would have to cease to exist, for the sound not to become. But living all are these amiss, a thrilling thrill, a paling kiss. My God, that's so good. Dude, you have fucking poetic talent, dude. But yeah, that was me reading one of my friend's poems, and my God, I fucking love it. This was my first time reading this, by the way, as I said at the beginning. Holy shit. Fucking hell. Okay. You need to write more poetry. Jesus, mother of God. Anyway, my mind is too blown right now to even try and form analysis whatsoever. So see you guys next time, I guess.